Henneban Sports 84. Jarrett Hurd made the first successful defense of his title against Trout. Trout didn't show up for the fight. Didn't turn out for the 11th round of the fight. He was bruised and battered, decimated. He was put in an uncomfortable position because all his face was swelled up, his eyes was virtually shut. The guy was exhausted, he could hardly move. His punches were not even, he could hardly throw his punches. His punches were extremely weighted. Lifting his hands to throw a punch like lifting a timber, a full length of timber. His hands were heavy. He couldn't even connect to any meaningful punches later in the round. The guy was just washed up. He looked like a typical case of a washed up fighter. I picked him to win this fight, but I didn't imagine. I've never seen Trout put up a performance like this ever. All his fights I've seen. The guy, even from the onset, I was really having his way. Like, he was winning most of the initial rounds. I still felt like the guy couldn't last the entire duration of the fight, because it looks like Jarrett Hurd was walking him down throughout the fight, and he knew that the guy wasn't up to like top notch. He wasn't like, how do I put it? It's almost as if Jarrett Hurd knew Trout wasn't going to last. Like, he had issues with his stamina or something like that. Because even though he was having his moments in the earlier, it looks like his shots were weighted shots. It's like it takes a lot from him to do what he's doing, and he looks unstable on his feet. It looks like, I felt something was off from the onset. And I was wondering how this guy was going to last the entire, because I don't know. He didn't look fit. He didn't look fit in the fight. It looked like he didn't take the guy serious or something. I don't know. But the guy was just terrible, man. Even when he was having his way, he was terrible. He was just terrible. It was just terrible, man. I'm sure he knows he has really disappointed himself. He didn't come in the best condition possible to win the fight, because from the first stage, initial stage of the fight, you could tell the guy he couldn't laugh, because he didn't look like he was fit. He didn't look fit. He didn't look sharp enough. Like, his movements was labored. Although he was having his movements was very, very labored. He just looked out of shape, and I don't know. He looked terrible. Really, really terrible in the fight. I don't know why. He probably needs to retire, because it's terrible, man. It's terrible. And with Jarrett Hurd, this is the first fight I really watched of Jarrett Hurd, but he looked like an awkward fighter. And also, to his detriment, he should have gotten Trout out of there quicker, because Trout was really terrible, especially from the 5th round onwards. The guy was barely standing on his feet, and yet you were struggling to get this guy out of there. You see, that's a detriment to Jarrett Hurd. Because if you're a top fighter and you face somebody in this condition and you are still struggling to get him out of there, and he had to, like, the fight, he has to not come into a ring, not respond to the 11th round for you to get a victory, then Charlie, it looks like you also have some really massive deficiencies. And his defense is also very suspect, because he gets hit a lot. Trout was hitting this guy at will, especially with his knockout, uppercuts. Was connecting at will in the earlier rounds of this fight. He was just doing whatever he likes, just displaying superior boxing IQ to Jarrett Hurd. But he didn't have the power to trouble Jarrett Hurd, so Jarrett Hurd kept walking him down. He didn't have the power to earn his respect, so he just kept walking him down. You don't have power to get your opponent's respect. You also don't have the stamina to last them. So what the hell are you doing in the fight? Trout really disappointed me. I never expected this sort of output from him. He seems like a decent boxer who is able to like stand his ground, stand his own in fights. But I didn't expect this. From the onset, round 1, I could see that Trout is not. He looked labored. His movements look labored. Everything about him. And I was imagining, how is this guy going to survive the whole 12 rounds? Because it's like everything you are doing is labored. You don't look sharp enough. You're not looking quick on your feet. My goodness. Charlie, the least said about this, the better. Jarrett Hurd won the fight back. I've been seeing his post-match interviews calling out Charlo and all that. You'd be wise enough to avoid Charlo. You see, I think even Erickson Lubin will beat Jarrett Hurd. Erickson Lubin will beat Jarrett Hurd because Jarrett Hurd is just awkward, man. I wasn't impressed with his output, even though he won. Trout is not the Trout I knew. This is not the same guy. The guy looks like he's washed up. He's not who he was. So I think Erickson Lubin will do himself a good favor by changing parts and try to go for Jarrett Hurd's title. Maybe look for a rematch with Jermall Charlo in the future, because I think Erickson Lubin will beat Jarrett Hurd. Probably get a knockout, because Jarrett Hurd is he's not all that. His point selection are awkward and Charlie. So these are my thoughts on it. If you like the commentary, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your time and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.